Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 25th episode of Deadbeat Son. How you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year. Hope you had a good weekend. It is January 3rd. This is the first episode of the new year, and there's obviously a lot of changes around here. So thanks for coming. If you're you still hungover. Were you? Did you go out? Did you go out last weekend? Did you spend 50 minutes looking for parking downtown? Did you find yourself crammed in a bar with way more people than any fire marshal would be happy with? Did you get that smooch? Did you chase that woman or man around town? Where are you gonna be? Are you gonna be here? Are you gonna be there? Just to be standing in a bar? Did you stay? Did you stay at home? Did you stay home? Did you play a board game? Did you do some some Federal One substances and enjoy going into the new year? I don't like to drink a whole lot. I will if my peers pressure me to, but typically I don't really like to. Especially like my issue, if you could call it that. First of all, thanks for being here. Did I say that already? Okay. My issue with going out and drinking on New Year's is that it is so the, like, I don't like the things that are like an expectation from no one, really. Like, there's this weird pressure, and because I used to feel FOMO a lot. You ever felt that? The fear of missing out. You get all this this anxiety. You feel all this pressure to go do something, or to be somewhere, or to do the thing, or to at this time. And I don't like who says this? I guess just because everyone's doing it, it's like, oh, this is okay. Better go here, and let's go pay a $40 cover for a place that I've been going to every Tuesday for the last year and a half. Let's now just to stand there with way too many people. Sometimes I'm a curmudgeon like that. And look, it's nice if you're with your friends or some family, maybe, or you're out like at a thing. Maybe it's like a get together at a park and you're lighting off some fireworks. I don't like the whole because it's never that good. I don't know, man. Maybe I need cooler, more delinquent people in my friend group. I'd like to not have to do that, but I just never saw the appeal, of I'd much rather just do a thing that I'd like to do. But I used to feel that. I used to feel the FOMO real bad when I was in college. Is a good example of that. So it was my sophomore year of college. I'm 19, right? And they're doing a concert at the school. It was near Halloween. So there's a concert on campus, and it was Vic Mensa. You ever heard of that guy? Remember him? He did that song. Is it You Mad? Oh, You Mad or something? I think it's called. It just starts. Actually, maybe I can just play it really quick. So he was showing up to school. He had that popular song. Yeah, it is You Mad. I don't know nobody. I don't. Yeah. So that's all I can play probably. So, but he had that banger. It's pretty tight. I'm not gonna lie. But so he's at the school, and and I was at my friend's apartment, and I was like, we gotta go. The concert's starting. And they were like, yeah, we're going. We'll go. We're gonna get there. We're gonna. They're gonna. Maybe. Have a drink, nothing alcoholic because we were under 21. But like, we're gonna hang out for a bit. Let's all regroup and get ready. And I was feeling so much pressure to go see Vic Mensa. So finally, I'm freaking out. And then eventually my friends are like, all right, we'll go. Let's go. So we go. We're walking, and I'm kind of hoofing it. I'm like picking up a little bit of pace. 'Cause I just this sinking feeling like, oh my, I'm going to miss it. And then what? And then what happens to me, So I didn't want to even consider that thought. So we get there. We get to the area where the concert's happening. During that hit song, You Mad. And it was like pretty cool. And then I didn't know anything else after that. And I like kind of was bopping because I can't really dance. So I was just kind of like bopping. Yeah, I don't know nobody. And then the song ended, and then he just kept playing stuff that I didn't know, and then it kind of just washed over me, like, oh, this is what was I freaking out about? Like, what was I freaking out about for Vic Mensa? I haven't even thought about him since that moment, and heard him. I haven't even heard him since I just played it for you right now. So. And that's usually what it's like. That's what New Year's is like too. It's like all this part. Oh my God, we gotta get. Okay, we parked the car. Okay, let's get. Run, hurry up. And it was like snowing and raining in Utah, and it was an absolute nightmare. And you get there, and it's like 5, 4, Happy New Year, and then they start playing. Like Katy Perry and Nicki Minaj. In the club, and that. I don't know. I'm just standing there, just bumping, just getting bumped by people, I mean, I was dancing too. I was having a good time. But what helped me get over the idea of FOMO is two things. The first was, and most important, is and this is what I've realized in the last couple years, honestly. I think the most important way to get over FOMO is to just have your own stuff going on. If you just have your own shit going on that you're focused on all the time, and it's you're really driven, then it doesn't matter. You don't care about certain things that you miss out on, the superfluous things that I once cared so much about. I don't, whatever. I could have not seen Vic Mensa and probably had a better evening with just hanging out with my friends, But I had to drag us all out there to see half of a song that I kind of knew. So now that I'm busy with comedy and this and that, I'm not too bothered, I'm not too bothered by things that I miss out on, because I'm creating things that other people would want to not miss. Hopefully, one day. And then, but I know that takes a while. That might take a little while to. It does, to accomplish and to get to that point where you're, where you constantly have things on your plate, so you just can't really, you just make that decision. You're like, well, I have to do this thing. So you miss the things, and then if you miss enough things, you'll start to realize, oh, I'm fine. That was, there's 3 things. Well, no, that is part of the second reason why thing to help get over FOMO is, when you go ahead, just miss something. Okay? If you have FOMO about something and you're trying to get over that sentiment, you want to not have that anymore, it's a trial by fire. You gotta miss something that you wanted to go to. or that you thought you wanted to go to. If you really, really, really want to go and it means a lot to you, then do not miss it. Whatever you do, don't miss it. But if there's a thing that, like, you know, your version of the Vic Mensa concert. I'm sorry to Vic Mensa if you're listening, but let's, you know, what else you got? So, but to the people, who still suffer from FOMO, just go ahead and miss something that you wanted to go to, and you wake up realizing, oh, I'm still here. Oh, the world keeps going. That's it, man. That's where the anxiety will get you, is thinking like, what's gonna happen if I miss this thing, right? And unfortunately, the only way to do that is to get over that, is to miss the thing and then see what happens after. Because you're not gonna die, right? Like, if I had missed that Vic Mensa concert, I'd have been fine. It's not like anyone was gonna come to me, show up at my door, and be like, you missed it. What the? You know, it's not like they gave everybody who attended the concert $1 million for going there. Like, it wouldn't have done anything. It didn't, you know. And that helped a lot. It helped a lot with, because you got, but oh well. Granted, there are some things that, like, I did miss that I, you know, wish I was there for. But that's life, baby. You're gonna miss stuff. But if you can get over FOMO, like, you might just need to grow out of that too a little bit, and that's part of it. Is like, you just get, you know, sometimes also you might just get too old. I just don't have the energy for a whole lot of things because I'm busy, and then pretty much every night of my week is busy doing stuff. So like, I gotta really want to go. I gotta really, really want to see Vic Mensa if I'm gonna miss a weekend of like shows or something, you know. So that's FOMO. If you have some stories about FOMO and some weird things that it made you do, or if you have any tips for getting rid of FOMO or how to overcome that, please write in. And I think a lot of us would like to hear that, because that is it's a very common thing that with, you know, this younger generation here, we're just so anxious about everything, and anxiety comes from not knowing the future, right? Anxiety is like, what's gonna happen if this, or what's gonna happen if that. I would feel that. I feel that all the time when I do shows, like certain like big shows. If it's big enough, like, man, you know, I don't get nervous as nearly as much, really. I don't get nervous a whole lot to do shows. I get excited before I go up, but, you know, I used to be way more nervous and anxious because I was like, what if they don't like me? What if they don't laugh at my jokes? And those are very real possibilities with very real consequences, you know, like, and so I felt more, it's more justified to be nervous, to be anxious about a live performance than it is to be missing the Vic Mensa concert that was free in 2015. And then what if I bomb? Like, what if I go up there and nothing works? I totally bomb and everybody hates me. Then what, you know? And then it happened. Then it happened again, and it happened a bunch more times. It still happens, man. Like, I'll still, you know, show up, try out a new joke, and get fucking nothing, dude. I get nothing. Like, and I've been writing jokes for like 8 years, you know, and telling them too as well, not just writing them. And there are still moments where I will tell a joke and it gets so nothing. It doesn't just get nothing. It gets so nothing that I will leave questioning, oh, can I even do this? Do I even know how to do this anymore. Like, maybe my best years were behind me when I was 20. Maybe that, maybe I peaked as a comedian at like 20 because apparently I can't write jokes anymore. Like, I'll feel like that and I'll have all those thoughts. And then you wake up the next day and you keep going, man. You keep it up. So knowing that, like, feeling like the world is going to end and then having it not end, that's going to help out. That's going to help you. Do the thing you're afraid to do. Because if it doesn't work, then whatever. Do it again later. Chill out. Anyway, I want to read this. We got a message in. I want to thank Marlene from Instagram for the artwork. You can see it on the Deadbeat Son Instagram. You can see she drew like a little skateboard. I can't see it here, but she drew a skateboard, and the underside of it says, "You got skaterboard," and we love that. That's pretty tight, because that's like our whole MO. I gotta get Avril up here, huh? I gotta Avril Lavigne up here somehow. Dude, imagine. Whoa, dude, imagine when I gotta get her on the pod, dude. We gotta get, okay, hey, listen up, folks. We need this podcast to get really big and fast, okay? Because I want to get Avril Lavigne on here. If Avril Lavigne, I haven't had a guest yet, except for a little special appearance, cameo appearance from Mi Madre. But dude, if I could get Avril Lavigne on here, or Melissa Vandella, if you know, you know. I'll take Melissa Vandella too. If I can't get Avril, I'll take Melissa Vandella, okay? Look that up. Look up Melissa Vandella right now. Let's see what happens. Because there was this weird phenomenon before where if you look up Melissa Vandella, what happens? You look at images, you get Avril. I'll show you on the thing. You get Avril Lavigne. It's pictures of Avril Lavigne. So that's the specs here. There's a big old conspiracy that Avril Lavigne passed away and she was replaced by Melissa Vandella. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations. All I can do is have her or them on the pod, and we'll get to the bottom of this. I think you've noticed this little poof. I just washed my hair, and this is what happens when I wash. It gets poofy. Relax. Avril, if you're watching, Melissa, if you're watching or listening, send me a DM, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Okay? All right. Marlene wrote, along with the image, she wrote, "Hi Trey, I'm Marlene. Hi Marlene. Typing from Vienna. Where is Vienna? Let's look that up right now. Vienna is in Austria. Or does she mean Austria, or does she mean Virginia? I don't know. There's two. There's three. There's also Vienna, Illinois. Okay, so it's one of those. It's either Illinois, Virginia, or she's in a castle in Austria. So anyway, here we are. Discovered your podcast before Christmas, and it honestly got me through the holidays. Hey, that's so cool. That's so nice and unexpected. Cause I'm just spewing, man. I'm just spewing, and I edit them all myself. So I edit every episode myself. So any mishaps, anytime I say, "Oh, I'm gonna show you this," and then I don't, that's on me. I don't have an editor, so I actually think it's Austria. I think she's typing from Austria, and I'll tell you why. Okay. Got her through the holidays. Happy holidays. I hope it wasn't so bad. Man, people have rough holidays, man. Okay. Got me through the holidays. Well, I'm glad I could be there. I'm glad I could be there for you, Marlene. You sound cool, and you're talented. Really liked the Skater Boy episode, she writes. Also, please keep up the advice. As an under 26-year-old, I could use some of that. We're going to do that. I kind of did already with the FOMO. That's a big one. That's what this whole episode is going to be about. New Year's resolution is to go to the UK if you're doing a show there. That's super nice. Hope you're having a great 2023. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you for writing in. It is the coolest thing in the world to me that you guys write in. It really is. It's so nice of you. And it keeps me going. It's very motivating. It's how we do it. Makes me want to, makes me motivated to keep going. So thanks, Marlene. And thank you for the artwork, Marlene. Check out her Instagram. And I think I tagged her in the post. So go ahead and give her a follow. And I did kind of lapse on the advice portion of the last 10 episodes. This is a community built thing, we're all part of this. So yeah, whatever you guys don't like, feel free to let me know. 'Cause who's not afraid to let me know what they like or don't like? Other people on the internet. Whenever I post a video, they are not holding back. So speaking of art, I got a really cool thing today from that I ordered. It got in. There's a friend of mine who goes by the name of Joey Bruce. You can find him on Instagram at Joey Bruce Art. And he recently came out with some art books. Original, he's an artist, and he has been for as long as I've known him. Very, very talented guy. And he's got this really cool style, and he's really fucking deep too. So these are art books. They're comics as well. There's comic panels and little stories behind them. So this one's called Screen Time. We got one here called Silly Stories. You can kind of get an idea of the style there. And then this one is just Z's or Z's because he's Canadian. So I got some Z's on there. Definitely check him out because I've had this from him. This is from him too. He drew that for me. He's I don't promote a lot of stuff on here. A lot of people ask me to promote things, not on the pod, but on the Instagram. And I don't. Usually people ask me to, they'll ask me to say political stuff, or they'll send me a link to a GoFundMe. Look, man, that's a weird thing that came with an Instagram following, is now people ask me would you post about what's going on in the Congo? I didn't know there was anything going on in the Congo. I don't post it, not because I don't care, but because I don't want to pretend that I care. Does that make sense? So I guess I don't, but I do. I mean, I care about people, but I don't know, man. I don't know how to. I think I like to keep it. I want to keep it all funny. That's what people are tuning in for. That's what people are watching the pod. That's why they follow me on Instagram. They just want to see me be funny, I think, right? So it's I'm not going to just flip the script and start being all serious, because I don't like when people do that. When all those celebrities, well, not really that, but I don't know, you see it a lot. I saw it this weekend actually. So I'll probably end with this story here. My weekend was I spent all weekend filming comedy shows for a man. You may know him by the name of Rob Schneider. For the younger kids, you may have seen him on like the Benchwarmers or Grown Ups. He was in that. He's in like all of the Adam Sandler movies. He's one of his boys, and he's also on South Park. They made fun of him on South Park where he was doing so many movies that they did like a little parody of him. So check that out. It's really, really good. And then everyone else you probably know who he is. So he's one of those people. You know him from these silly roles, right? And I was, I met him obviously before the first show, and he's probably the most famous person I think I've met. I think so to date. I think he is. I've never met like a Prince or anything like that. So you know him for like, yeah, he's pretty big. He's pretty famous, right? He sold out like 8 shows. It was nuts. And I'm filming for all of them. So I get in the green room, and we get introduced. They go, "Hey, this is Trey. He's a comedian. He's gonna be filming for you all weekend." And Rob was there. He's sitting there and he's polishing his shoes. And he's looking down. He's not even looking up at me. He's just looking down. And he goes, "Oh, right on, man. Okay, sounds good. You gonna get good video? You got good quality?" I'm like, "Yep. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be in 4K. It's gonna look tight. You're gonna like it." He's like, "Oh, right on. Still hasn't looked up at me. Right on. You get good audio too?" And I'm like, "Yep. It's gonna come right from the soundboard. It's gonna sound crisp. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it." And he goes, "Okay, cool. He's like, "You're gonna get the audience too?" I was like, "Yeah, I can get an extra audio track for just the audience if you'd like that." And still hasn't looked up at me. And he goes, "You can or you will." And that was, it just bummed me out, dude. I get it. Like I get it. I'm just some like kid. I look like Shaggy, from Scooby Doo, not the rapper, the cartoon character. So I get it. He thinks I'm gonna, fuck it up somehow. And he's right. I do a lot, but I didn't this time. And but just the whole like, what are you trying to alpha dog me? You're Rob. What are you talking about, dude? Why does Rob Schneider need to alpha dog me? I don't get it. But he did. But he put me in my place. I go, yeah, I'll get it. I will. Being an alpha, I'm gonna do a whole episode on the alpha stuff, especially because of the whole Andrew Tate stuff. We're gonna get into that too. That was wild, but yeah, it's why do they have to try to like big dog me like that? But he did, and that's just kind of how. That's just Hollywood, baby. That's just kind of how you gotta. I guess it's just egos and egos and egos and egos and egos. So his ego triumphed mine. It overtook mine. So I was humbled, and so we did it. And so that was the first moment where I go, "Oh, okay. So this is kind of what he's like as a person." And then he went up on stage, and he, it's just a little more. It's just a lot more political than I thought it would be. So that's fine. Hey, the guy sold out 8 freaking shows. He can talk about whatever he wants to talk about. He's not going to lose any money. But, yeah, he just, he's not happy with the current state, with the current state of the world. He doesn't like politics, or he does like politics. He doesn't like the ones in the White House. But I heard this line from him, which is my favorite line to hear from one of my favorite lines to hear from a comedian, because he goes like this. He goes, something like, blah, 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 because anyone could be president now. And it's like, I just hear that. I'm like, jeez. Because, like, the crowd's going to go nuts no matter what. You could say that any year. Say it it's just so funny that, like, just a mere few years ago, the other side of the political spectrum was saying that, making the exact same joke and getting just as good of a response. That's why I think that, like, it's not so much about originality or being clever as it is just finding the right thing to say at that time, man. Because look, he crushed just as hard saying that as any any left wing comedian did when Trump was president. The crowd's anyone could be president now. Wow, we fucking hate the president. It's stuff like, it's like, okay, all right, yep, 4 years you're gonna make the same joke, and so those jokes just keep, I heard that, I go, boy. And I was thinking, like, man, it's gotta be interesting to be a big movie star doing live shows, because, like, man, honestly, all anyone wants to hear is the lines from the movies, like, as he walked out on stage, there were dudes yelling, "You can do it," and, like, or someone would yell that out during the show, during one of his bits, "You can do it," and that would get a laugh. Just the heckle would get a big laugh from the room, and that's I would hate that I would hate that, man. But he seems to have accepted it. He seems to embrace it too. He'll come out, he'll walk down the hallway, "You can do it, Salt Lake City," and it just reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons when Bart was like, "I didn't do it," and then he became, like, famous. I asked Rob a question though, because I'm a fan of a lot of his stuff, a lot of Adam Sandler stuff, and but I did ask him. I said, "What was it like being on Seinfeld?" Because I love that show, and he was on an episode. So I asked him, and he goes, "Let me tell you a story." Ooh, a story. He goes, so they'd been trying to get me on for a while. They'd been trying to get me on an episode for a long time, but I couldn't because I was so busy doing movies and stuff. I'm like, okay, flexing again. And he goes, so they finally get me on. I'm there. We're all in the room. We do a read through of the script of the episode. And Michael Richards, the guy who played Kramer, Michael Richards comes up to me and says, leans in and goes, "Hey, man, sorry it's not one of the good ones." And he keeps walking. And then he walked right onto the stage at the Laugh Factory and screamed racial slurs. So I thought that was funny. I thought that was kind of funny. I was kind of hoping for more from the story, but kind of ended there. And he told me, he said he was watching Michael Richards and Jerry Seinfeld work a scene. They were doing a scene in the apartment, Jerry's apartment, where Kramer is standing in the kitchen and Jerry's in, and he was doing crazy waving stuff with his arms, Kramer, because he does that a lot. And Rob's watching this, and he goes up and asks him after, he's like, "Hey, how do you come up with that kind of stuff? How do you get, this character, these choices to just be so wacky, like an inflatable guy?" And Michael Richards told him, I imagined that I had just farted in the kitchen, and I was trying to keep Jerry from smelling it. And Rob's like, "Wow, that's so interesting." So, it just goes to show, anytime you see an actor's performance where you think, "Wow, what an incredible, how did they do? Oh, wow, the emotion." Odds are pretty good that they just farted. and they're trying to keep somebody away from it, or like they're thinking about a time they farted in a public place. If they need to cry, they're thinking about a time they smelled a bad fart. It's something about farts, man. I didn't really get it, but that's what I picked up from it. Anyway, so worked with him all weekend. He was, he warmed up to me throughout the weekend. Each night he would ask me like, "Hey, what'd you think of that? That one was better, right? I was, felt good up there." And he was like, "Yeah," or he would come back and say, "I don't know about this one. I didn't really, I wasn't really. What'd you think about this?" And I go, I actually told him, like, I was honest with him, because I was like, no one's ever honest with this guy, I bet. So I told him, I was like, "Look, man, these people want to see you have fun, right? Like, they want to see Rob Schneider goof off and be silly on stage. So as comfortable as you can be and as much fun you can have is going to work. That's what they want, man. They're just trying to have a good time with you. Make yourself laugh. They're going to love it." And then he said, "Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Thank you, man. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I didn't think of that." And I was like, did I just give Rob Schneider advice? Did I just give him comedy advice? What the fuck? Anyway, hope you had a good weekend. We're doing another Deadbeat. This is like the Hall of Deadbeats, because, and I don't really follow along with this stuff. I think it's kind of, especially in like today's climate, it's a lot of the people that Rob Schneider isn't too fond of, they really ruined a good thing, and that's Star Wars. I don't really, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but whatever. I don't even know if I'm a fan at all, but I know it. I know the story well. I don't like any of the new stuff. Well, I didn't even watch it, so I don't know. But with that said, this person has to be. It's amazing that they haven't made the wall yet, and that's gonna be Darth Vader right there. This is one of the biggest piece of shit dads ever. This guy. He had his moments, just like every dad does. He has like moments of like where you're like, "Oh, are you like actually a really, really good dad?" And then he just kind of fucks it all up. So, this guy, he left his, he abandoned his family. He, he killed, he freaking mowed down a bunch of kids. And then he like abandoned his family to make a successful to end up running a very successful business, which, look, and I understand, like, he did have redeeming moments. Like, he made a successful business and then tried to get his son on board, nepotism, but whatever. But he did bail. And he's got, like, big chain on, and he's like, he's all decked out. So, and then he also did kind of try to, low key try to kill his son, which is like not cool, as a dad. But he did like redeem himself at the end when he like threw that old dude into the pit and then died. Doing it. He did die for his kid ultimately, so he's a pretty good guy. But it's that's what's so tough about dads, dude. Is like they'll do these things where you're like, "Oh, you are actually a solid dude," but then there's such a pattern of behavior that you can't help but remember, So. Anyway, yeah, he caused a lot of issues, that guy. And do you think he ever paid child support? I fucking doubt it, dude. I doubt it. His kids were living with their uncle and aunt. or at least one of them was. I don't even know where the other kid grew up. I'm sure there's a mini series about it, but I don't even know where Leia grew up. But Luke had to be with his freaking aunt and uncle, for crying out loud. So, I bet they're like, I bet if they knew, what if they knew that Luke's dad was this guy running the whole shit, and was like, bro, you can't even send a fucking, can I, a new car? Can I get a freaking can of gas? Something, dude. A stipend, a trip. How about take your kid to work? Anyway, Darth Vader gets the freaking Hall of Deadbeats. And FOMO, yeah, man, watch out for it. If you feel it, if you feel something that you're really like, oh, just try not doing it at all, and then just see that you're okay the next day, and you'll be good to go. Anyway, that's going to do it today, folks. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. And make sure to write in with any comments or questions. I'm loving the art that people are making. It's very, very cool of you guys. So keep watching, keep listening, and we'll see you next week. We're going to talk about being an alpha, I think. Or something else if it's more exciting. Anyway, take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.